my program last week, Jossy, and says that he's coming back to Aruba in June to do another deep water search. You and I both know that he ran into a lot of red tape, so to speak, from the authorities. Have you heard anything about Tim coming back, and will he have a little bit more open access to search where he wants to search?
I've heard that he is coming back, and I've heard that he is going, in fact, to search again on the water, right across the Marriott Hotel to the west, which is where they should be searching now, as far as we are concerned. And we've been following this case from the beginning. We still believe very firmly that if she is to be found anywhere, she will be found in the ocean. I mean, we haven't seen anything to change our minds on that. But I hope Tim comes back. I'm sure he will be given all the leeway that is necessary for him to do the searches that he wants to do. Because everyone in Aruba, every conscious citizen here, wants this case to be resolved.
The government, has there been any change from the Aruban government as far as their status in the world community as far as Aruba being a safe island to travel to, and B, their desire to get this case solved and to get on with life?
You know, as for the government itself, I don't know, because I haven't seen any interest shown by them in any time period whatsoever in the past 2 years. I know for a fact, though, that the Minister of Justice, Rudy Cruz, was the one that requested the assistance of Holland in order for this Dutch team to be able to come to Aruba from the Forensic Institute in Holland. In other words, this is a petition by one representative of the Aruban government, but I think that he did it so that they can close the case, no? So that either they get answers or they will not work on this case anymore.
The Aruban Police Department, we've heard of in the past, had a lot of strife. There were questions about pay and overtime. We haven't heard much about them lately. What's the status of the Aruban Police Department?
The police department in Aruba is interested in this case. They have been working on it on and off. And whenever they have the time necessary to do so, in all their fights and persecutions by their boss, again, the same Minister of Justice. Remember that in the beginning, when this case broke, there was a lot of disgust in the police force because they took away their overtime pay, they took away their bonuses, they took away I don't know what other kinds.
Right.
So their hearts were not in it at that time. They could have done this much better had they had the relaxation necessary to do their work, the way we've seen them do it over 34 years of my being in the newspaper business in Aruba. I think we have a good police corps here, an excellent one. But in this case, something went wrong from the beginning. I don't know what, because it's very hard to just give an opinion or speculate on it, but something went wrong from the beginning.
One of the police officers that was forefront in the investigation early on was Gerald Dompeg. We now know that he's left the police service. What's he doing now, Jossy?
You know, he has a company that offers security services to the government buildings, hotels, private businesses. In other words, he's in the security business, which is more or less a parallel profession to his police work that he had when he was in the police corps. But that's his actual job now, offering this kind of service of protection to buildings and other areas that belong to the government or private business in Aruba.
Do you think that Gerald Dompeg will ever come forward? Because I'm sure that he knows and can say a lot more about this case, or will he remain silent now?
I think that at one point or another he's going to have to come out and say so, because I remember that he was interviewed on U.S. cable news networks, in which he definitely stated, as he did in a private conversation with me here in my office, that these guys are guilty as hell, the three suspects. I mean, there's no way for him to take back that declaration, so he's got to stick to it. And he gave a lot of reasons why he thinks so. All the lies, all the fabrications, the cobwebs, everything that these three suspects created to get the attention away from them. But the attention has never been away from them. They're the only three suspects that I know that the police are working on.
With the 2-year anniversary here now, again, and I want to clarify this with you one more time, Jossy, before I let you go, and I thank you for coming on the show with me again. Let's clear up and make very certain what this 2-year anniversary means. Again, we're going to hear a lot of misinformation on cable news. I want you to set it straight for me.
Look, the 2-year limit, the 2-year time limit imposed by the law is valid only for suspects in cases of rape or murder or some serious felony charges that happen in Aruba or anywhere else. But in Aruba, the law is very specific in that. You can only hold them for 2 years as suspects unless you come up with new evidence that warrants the extension of this period, which is what happened lately. They have extended that period. There is no time limit involved, no maturation date, no maturing date for cases of rape or murder or cases where murder or rape are suspected to have been occasioned here.
And the suspects themselves are still suspects. That's been extended. They
are suspects, and they remain as suspects for the time being, yes.
One last question, again, Jossy, before I let you go. The search at the Vandersloot residence, we may know sometime what it resulted in. Nothing has been released yet, but there have been a lot of questions about why some of the concrete wasn't dug up. Can you comment on that?
You know, I have no idea. I mean, we've asked the question for ourselves also. People talk about some kind of a cement walkway that was poured a few days or a week or something to that effect after Natalie disappeared. In other words, police on the float have that fresh cement poured over in some walkways around the pool. That was not disturbed. And the reason, I don't know. We would have to ask the Dutch people if we ever see them.
Well, yeah, that's for sure. Well, again, thank you, Jossy. Appreciate you coming on the program.
You're quite welcome.
You're always welcome. Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.